Good morning. This is Holly with Holly's Joys, and I just wanted to tell you my thoughts today on um, something that happened yesterday. Anyway, this is in no way a negative judgment, it's merely an observation and food for thought. So, I'm going to start out with a little story from when I was very young. So, we had moved into a house from a mobile home, from a trailer. We called them trailers back in the day. And so I was very small, maybe 3.5, 4 years old at this time. My sister is 5 years older, so she was away at school. It was a nice day out, so our front door was open. And our neighbor across the street, they were an older couple who their daughter had a little girl about my age. So my mom was watching this little girl for just a couple of hours while I don't know what they were doing. I was too small. I don't really remember. Anyway, that is not important. And it was around lunchtime. And this was even before we had carpet on our floors. It was just hardwood floor. So we were sitting in the living room on the floor, us two little girls, and my mom had made lunch. And she brought in 2 bowls of chicken rice soup, which was one of my very favorites as a little girl. Chicken rice. I still like chicken rice soup. And and a cup of milk. Now, I've never been real fond of just drinking milk. I was allergic as a kid, so I didn't really drink a lot of milk. I seem to do all right with it in cooking, but to just drink it outright is not, I don't care for it. And I still, to this day, don't really care for milk that way. So we were sitting there, and this little girl took her cup of milk and poured it into my chicken rice soup. And when I went and told my mom about it, of course, I was probably crying. I don't remember the exact details, but she made me eat it anyway. And that began a series of things that reinforced in me that I cannot set personal boundaries, that it's not okay for me to set boundaries, that people can do to me what they like, and I have no say in it. So I'm saying all this not to invoke any kind of pity or anything. I've come a long way. I've worked really hard. I'm good now with boundaries. But I mean, I went through a lot of unnecessary struggle and pain. Had I not been reinforced to say, I have no right to have a say over my life. And the reason it came to mind was I heard some messages yesterday about how children are born sinners. And the proof in the pudding was given as in they do not want to share their toys. And they can be aggressive with each other. And I'm not denying that that is true. They do not want to share their toys. And they can be aggressive. They can bite, kick, whatever, scream, and yell. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to instruct your children in like social graces of living. But what I am saying is when your child is acting out in that way, so let's take the idea of they don't want to share their toys. My challenge to you is, if I come to your house and push you out of the way and take your computer, are you okay with that? and we're really not okay with that. And that's really not the message I know that the parents, trust me, I did the same thing. Okay. I'm not saying anything bad about any parenting style. It is the hardest job to be a parent because you love that little kid and you absolutely want the very best for them. So I'm just saying, just think about it. Just, consider what is happening with the child. And I think that for me, it would have been a better message if my mom would have just asked the little girl if she wanted my soup. And if she didn't, then just toss it out and make a new can of soup. I mean, back then it was probably a quarter. So, it really isn't that difficult to resolve issues and still support your child and try to understand from their viewpoint. When they're really little like that, they are still just a little bitty blank slate, and they're just running around just absorbing everything. And the message that I received was I was not allowed to have boundaries. And even into adulthood, that included my body. I did not feel I had the right to say no over anything anybody wanted to do to me. So, in order to protect myself, I just withdrew. I was very withdrawn for many years. And for me to step out and begin talking about some of this stuff it's a challenge for me personally, but I really think it's important. And just think about when your kid doesn't want to share a particular toy, um, it's okay to maybe get a different toy for the other child. And if there are special toys your kid has, at least let them begin to practice setting personal boundaries and not trying to make them feel bad for wanting to keep certain toys for just their own personal use. And I don't know, maybe this is way out of bounds, and I apologize. I don't mean to offend anybody. I really just want to share my heart and this my personal experience with the kind of going over the line and having my boundaries a little bit trampled. And I'm quite sure my mom did the best she could, and she had no idea that this is the message that she was giving. I probably didn't even consider it. I mean, back then, I mean, kids to be seen and not heard kind of thing. So that was a lot of years ago. So I'm not trying to be mean to my mom. She did an absolute awesome job. I think I'm very awesome now. So there you go. Anyway, I really want everybody to look at their child today and see how amazing and beautiful that little child is. And it's a gift to you from the Lord. And I'm telling you, my grandkids have been amazing. My children have grown into amazing adults, and I much appreciate them and love them. And I know I did my fair share of messing my kids up. So they'll have a YouTube channel too and talk about that, and I'm cool with that. So have a great day. I appreciate y'all and all the kind comments I'm getting, and hopefully I didn't get on too many toes, because that I want you to understand that is not my heart. It is just to try to get a different perspective on things and realize that maybe we're attaching too heavy of a stigma on certain things, like the word sinner. Just think about it. All right. Thanks. Have a great day. Please like, share, follow, all the things. Hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.